Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Serena, and in today's video I want to sew up a nautical inspired dress. I'm really excited to tackle this project. I really have been searching for a dress pattern that's similar to this for some time because I love like an open back high neckline, as you can see here. So if you're interested in seeing me sew up this pattern, go ahead and like and subscribe. And now let's get into the materials it will take to make this dress. I'm sewing up McCall's 6808 and I'm doing the full skirted version. And I did finally get a buttonholer, so I added that to my materials list. I am still sewing with the bare minimum as I am still at my mom's house. So we are hopping straight into this pattern, starting with adding the darts to the bodice. I did not do any pattern adjustments to this because I've never made a bodice like this that buttons all the way down the back and also has that V cutout. So this will serve as a wearable muslin. I really love that high slash neckline. It's one of the features of my favorite dress pattern that usually has a midriff on it. So it's really nice to have a similar neckline without the bodice. So it looks as though I actually make different dress patterns because I swear I've made at least 4 or 5 of my favorite dress pattern. And so this is going to be probably a close second to that because it's another variation with my favorite style lines. And I really want to make the slim skirt version as well because I think it would just be really hot. I love that it buttons all the way down the back as both a style feature because who doesn't love a bunch of really pretty decorative buttons, but also for practicality and ease of wear. No side zip means you don't have to pull it over your head. Also, because it buttons all the way down the back, you can have a cool 1960s updo without risk of messing it up. So, absolutely love that. Now, because I am still using the most basic of sewing machines, it only does a straight stitch. I am going to be completing all of my seams with a French seam so that way it looks very neat and clean on the inside. It's funny how I tend to take the long way when it comes to sewing because I do prefer these older techniques, but I still manage to make up a lot of my garments in a very timely fashion. I want to say that this only took me about 3 or 4 days to make from start to finish. I am sewing with 100% cotton, and the nautical print features a lot of sailboats, maps, things like that. I was actually inspired to make a dress like this from a Barbie dress that I had saw when I was scrolling through Pinterest. She looked so adorable. I think I saw her last summer. And in my very wild brain, I considered embroidering a bunch of sailboats, but I couldn't exactly figure out a file that I enjoyed off of Etsy. So I just went with a nautical printed fabric. Plus, since I wanted it to be a full skirt, I was thinking maybe in over my head. I'm not sure. I might tackle it in the future anyway, because one thing about me is I can never leave well enough alone. So this pattern came together really quickly, and I don't have a whole lot to say about it. I think if you can do the basics, you can definitely sew up this pattern or a pattern like it. The only thing that you will need to know how to do is make buttonholes, whether by machine or if you do bound buttonholes like the pattern suggested. And I think the reason the pattern suggested that is because you don't need a buttonholer to do bound buttonholes. And in fact, I've never actually made bound buttonholes without a machine. So I think it'd be interesting for me to try that one day. It just was not going to be today because this dress requires so many buttonholes. And I wanted to be able to wear this dress as soon as possible because it's super hot out. You can, of course, make worked buttonholes by hand. And that's just not really my gig. I can do it, not that great, and they are equally as beautiful as a machine buttonhole, especially if you really know the technique and get it right. But while we're on the topic, I want to talk about this buttonholer that I purchased specifically for the featherweight. I spent about $20 on it on Mercari, I think it was, and I am thoroughly impressed. I love this buttonholer even more than my Singer professional buttonholer that I use on my Kenmores. This buttonholer does have less templates than the Singer professional buttonholer, so I can't do bound buttonholes with it. But the buttonholes they can do look so nice and neat and crisp. And I don't know, it's just so nice. And apparently, from the instructions, I can freehand embroider to some degree, so it'll be cool to kind of test that out. And so with this buttonholer, it comes with a little feed dog plate to cover the feed dog so that way the button puller can take over the movement of the fabric. So, because the featherweight doesn't allow you to lower the feed dogs like most sewing machines do. So far, I am still loving the featherweight for its purposes of being a travel machine. It takes up so little space. I am occupying like a little corner on the dining room table and it's out of the way. And when I want to clean up, I can easily tuck the machine away in the case and then put it underneath the ironing board. So I love it for that. The only thing is I'm not sure if it can gather. So if you're a featherweight user and you gather, let me know down below if you can do it without using the ruffler foot because I do have a ruffler foot, but I just want to do basic basting stitches. If that's at all possible, let me know down below. For this skirt, I did gather it by hand. So if that's something that you are uncomfortable with doing by machine, you can gather by hand. And it wasn't that big of a deal. I definitely thought it was going to be a lot more time consuming, but I was able to gather the skirt up very quickly. I do still prefer to do it by machine because I'm just a machine girl. Also, I think the machine gathered stitches are a lot more tighter than the ones that I do by hand. So I'm able to get a more uniformed gather that kind of stays in place while I sew the bodice on. But overall, I don't think it's that big of a deal. And it's easily something that I could fix in the future if I wanted to. I know we've all been sort of lost since we lost Joanne's with regards to where we're going to be going fabric shopping. And I just recently went to find fabrics and I haven't been in a while. So I have a bit of a fabric haul that I could do. And I'm really excited about that because I got a variety of fabrics to suit my needs right now, as well as winter needs. And I don't know, I feel like I'm so ready to start sewing suits and coats again. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't think I ever really got over it from last winter. So if you're interested in seeing a fabric haul, I would absolutely love to do that. I meant to vlog while I was there, but like, who am I kidding? I got so distracted by all of the options. I didn't get a whole lot done with regards to filming there. So I'll just have to share what it is that I purchased and what I plan on making with it. I will say that for some months now, I've been struggling with a lot of decision fatigue. And since scaling everything back and only having access to a certain amount of fabrics and patterns, I've been able to be more productive. And that has been very insightful for me. I'm someone who is always thinking, always creating, and I never really run out of ideas. And I think that's very helpful as a content creator because you get to do variety and you get to keep things fresh. But on a personal level, it can become overwhelming because while I do have so many ideas, I only have so many hours in a day. It was easier to prioritize ideas when I was just starting off because then I was putting my needs first. But now that my wardrobe is relatively complete, now all of the ideas are sitting in the same category. And instead of that helping me create, it ends up stalling my progress. So this summer has been really good for me when it comes to being productive in general. So this is the final look, and I paired it with my small blue Kelly bag that I made from my Babylon leather kit that I did show the process in the previous video, so you can go ahead and check that out. It matches the blue buttons that go down the back, and I just love this look together. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel, leaving me a comment down below. And if you'd like to support me any further, you can leave me a virtual tip over on Ko-fi or become a bobbin over on Patreon. I would absolutely love to have you. On Patreon, you'll find exclusive videos, sneak peeks of upcoming projects, as well as PDFs. And I'm seriously considering vlogging maybe. So if you're interested, go ahead and join us over there. Of course, the best free way to support me is to like, comment, share, and subscribe. See you in the next one.